want to start with some questions to you. Okay. So what will happen if your servers and networks aren't working for 2 weeks? Okay. And what if you are forced to reduce your electricity usage by 10% without any grace period? You have a plan for that? Okay, let's continue. You need to ship your Scope 3 emissions by the next quarter. Does it ring a bell? No? And your cloud provider raises 50% overnight. This already happened. Okay, these 4 questions are not fictional hypotheses, scenarios. They all happened recently. And the first scenario happened here in London in July 2022, when you have 2 major hospitals, Guy's and St. Thomas, which had their IT system go offline because of a failed cooling. And when that happened, like 3 years ago, they have postponed surgeries, they have redirected emergent patients, and they go back to use paper for 2 weeks because of an extreme heat wave. The second scenario happened to us in France. During the winter 2022, the French government requested us to reduce our electricity usage by 10%. The third one will happen for every company next year who has a turnover over 50 million and 250 people. And the third one happens with Google, happened with VMware, and we all know that it will happen with AI inference soon. That's our new reality as CTO. 2/3 of natural or disaster right now are natural disasters, and they are going stronger and stronger and worse and worse. And what the Paris Agreement said is, if we can keep the temperature under the climate warming, the global warming, under 1.5 degrees, we'll have more and more disaster going on. So these 4 scenarios is a wake-up call for us as a CTO, that we need to shift our goal, our mandate from efficiency to resilience. And we need to build now with those constraints in mind. For the rest of the talk, I will share with you our journey at BPI France, our green IT journey at BPI France, and especially how we managed to respect the mandate to reduce our electricity bill by 10%. So BPI France, who is BPI France? BPI France is a financial institution in France with a motto, Servir l'avenir, that means serve the future. So our mission is to help entrepreneurs in France thrive. And we do that with a tool set of instruments like loans, export credits, equity, private equity. To give you a concrete example, last year we injected 60 billion in the French economy. And we have equity in the most promising startups in France also. So right now the technology organization is 300 teams. So the whole, we are 4,500 people at BPI France with 300 teams in IT and digital. I'm the CTO of the digital business unit. And back in that time, you have a hybrid infrastructure. A lot were on-premise. So you have regulated workloads on our servers. You have a few data centers. And in 2021, when we embarked on our green IT journey, we also started our move to the cloud. So how did we start our journey? It's linked to the COP, the Paris Agreement, that say that we need to reduce, every company needs to reduce its greenhouse gas by 10%. So we decided to go with that because Paris Agreement was in Paris, it is France. It's a global, it's a global agreement. So let's do that. It was just like, let's do something that we agreed with. So we started with a clear goal. And when you need to embark on the green IT journey, the first thing you do, it's a standard method, you do a life cycle assessment, LCA. The LCA is pretty simple. So you have your goal, and you do some life cycle inventory through scopes. Scopes are your direct and indirect emissions. So you have 3 scopes, 1, 2, 3. 1, it's direct emissions from your activities. 2 is indirect emissions, energy imply indirect emissions only. And 3 is the indirect emission of your whole value chain. That is procurement, that is cloud provider, that is how the users use your products also. So in 2021, we decided to embark on the journey with that knowing that in 2022, we will have this mandate to reduce our electrical bill usage, not bill, electrical usage. So when we embarked on that journey, what we learned very surprising things. The first thing we learned is that our top contributors wasn't data centers or our servers. It was employee devices inside the company. So the laptops, the printers, the mobile phones, not the servers. So people devices inside the company. The second one was our data centers, so the servers and the managed data centers we have. And the third one is something that very surprised us, is that we didn't have an end-of-life program at that time. And then 2022, and we needed to reduce our electricity. So pretty simple. When we have this request with no grace period, no lead time, the first thing we did is to turn the LCA in our roadmap. So the LCA, we have scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 evaluation with imperfect data, with missing data, but you have a sense of direction. So we decided to implement the scope 2, the energy reduction. So during that time, we started to move to the cloud. So we were doing some dual run of everything. So we started to look at the inefficiencies we had in managing our infrastructure and starting to decommission legacy, for instance. So we all have some machines, some Kubernetes pods where we have no running projects, but they are still using some electricity. So we have all that. So we decommission the legacy code. We also have some oversized machine, oversized storage for small applications, small projects. So we optimize, we right-size the workload. And we also have 24/7 on machines back in that time. So we implemented some power down policies. And the last thing was, like you can see, a 3-month migration to a set of new data centers who are more power efficient and use green energy. So we had the chance to, by December, to reach minus 9% reduction. But this year, it happened that the state mandate, the country mandate, they stopped the mandate because they anticipated that we will have energy shortage because the Ukrainian wars. But as they anticipated this fact, and a lot of companies comply, they stopped the mandate because everything was okay on the grid. So this is the pressure on the domestic grid. And doing that once is pure execution. You have a sense of urgency, so we have to just go and do what we have to do, right? But creating, sustaining a green IT is a social-technical problem. It's not just technical problem, it's also an organizational problem. So how do we implement the change? First of all, if you want to succeed at green IT, you have to have a top-level sponsorship. So BPI France, for instance, was also called the climate bank. We have a mandate in France to green the French economy. So from that external accountability, we had the sponsorship to implement green IT policies in our tech teams. You have to name somebody with clear mandate who will be accountable of it. So we have a head of green IT. In France, it's the head of digital sustainability, who has a clear mandate to go see tech, products, procurement, everyone, to make the change stick. And when we come to our 300 teams, we have a loop, a feedback loop that we call MAPS for measure, align, pace, and sustain, where we build green IT efficiency in delivery, so in every weekly delivery and governance. For instance, you have an example of dashboard here. So every bi-weekly, the team has this kind of dashboard in their tools where they can see their green score from 1 to 5, and they can see the issues they need to fix to attain a better green score. And the green score was embedded in an operational excellence score that they need to reach to continue to work. So every team has this green score, this operational excellence score. For instance, what you see here is connected to a set of sources. You have SonarCube, you have Kubernetes data dashboard, you have internal tools. So those tools feed the dashboard, and the score is automatically calculated. So this is something that helps us embed in everyday life the notion of green score, so that we move from green initiatives one time to a continuous improvement way of working, operational excellence, right? And then you also have a space for learning. So we have champions who go and teach teams about eco-design and how to fix their machine, their infrastructure, their code. And these allow us to embed sustainability into delivery, but also in top-level governance. And the impact is real. For instance, right now, we have efficiency. So green IT is embedded as a core metric in everything we do. This is not easy. This is not glamorous. Like sometimes people forget. You have to send them alerts to let them know that they need to fix their machine, they need to fix the code. We have this data center rationalization complete because you have now power efficient data centers. And with this first work, so if I look back 3 years ago, we have our first major wave OPEX reduction. So FinOps, financial CFOs, the CFO is happy. And we have a system to manage this technical debt continuously. Something that's very positive from this work is also we have a set of data pipelines that help us automate CSRD mostly because it's 3 months. You have to get access to manual data procurement. You have to talk to your providers also. And something we are really proud of is 100% of our retired devices are now fully refurbished with social recycling partners in France. So this is our big wins doing that work. And with that work, we have also new challenges. For instance, I want to show you 2 charts. So on the left, you have, so in 2021, we started our Green IT journey. We managed, despite of the growth, we doubled the company. We doubled the number of people at the company. Despite the growth, we managed to stay we managed to control our emissions. But you have the big spike in 2024. This big spike is the translation of device turnover. Every 3 years, we change all the devices for employees. This big spike is the device turnovers. It's kind of depressing, but that is a new challenge. But when you look at the chart on the left, so we have the carbon footprint per employee. We can see that the story is more pragmatic. Like we managed to keep the footprint low, and we still have this challenge in 2024. But this challenge is controlled as you have new things, you have new suspects, the usual suspects. We have now cloud that we need to take into account. We have also AI workloads that we need to take into account too. So those are the new challenges, the next frontier that we'll tackle in 2025 and the next year. And finally, what I wanted to share with you is that we are operating in a new context with environmental contrast. What we take for granted for long, like we have stable grids, is not true anymore. We have stable, unlimited cloud bandwidth is not true anymore. And we also have regulation keeping up CSRD, for instance. So as tech leaders, as CTOs, we need to change how we operate our digital infrastructure. We used to build tech in a stable world, and my point is that world is gone. And Green IT is simply a new type of risk to manage, like we manage engineering risk, architecture, security. And this starts today. Thank you.
We've got time for a few questions.
Yeah.
So here we go. Do reductions in cloud usage have real-world impact on their data center, or does that benefit? Not really. I guess that's you to say AWS or whoever that might be.
Yes. OK, this is a great question because currently we are working on the cloud side. So we started the cloud side this year. And we have a multi-cloud strategy here. And what we notice is you don't have the same, you have some kind of opaque reporting of carbon footprint, right? You can have on this type of cloud, I don't want to name them, a global carbon footprint, some credit offloads, and you have on other clouds some granular carbon footprints. So, and the thing right now is what we want to do is just to add them up to our global carbon footprint for now before thinking of optimization.
Cool. And then next one, given the power of modern laptops or desktops, wouldn't a simpler change be to sweat these assets for 5 to 7 years rather than replacing every 3?
That's true. I think that this you have. It depends on the type of employees. You can do that for the normal employees, the non-tech employees, but if you come to the numbers I share with you is for the tech and the digital and IT department. When it comes to that kind of employees, they change the hardware like every 3 years right now. They are not obliged to change it, so if they are okay with the hardware, they can go with it. But they change the hardware, the laptops essentially, every 3 years. Right now, we have a new kind of policy that is bring your own device. Like you have, we give people a budget to buy their gear, and then they can buy something more, how can I say that, more robust with tons of memories, tons of disk size, so that they can keep it longer. So we are thinking of that. The second thing for the mobile phone also, like 1 month ago, we just issued a new policy for bring your own mobile phone also. So we have, it's a tricky decision between compliance, security, and sustainability. But yes, I agree.
We've got time for one more that's got a lot of votes. So what approach do you take when using technology like AI that doesn't publicize the emissions profile? How do you account for this?
Yes, that's a great question. Because that's my focus right now. I measure AI by the tokens. Because tokens correlate with energy. And you have great tools to measure that. So we have some proxy. When you are using AI, we all have proxy like Light LLM that filter out the request to the model, right? So with Light LLM and LangFuse, which is monitoring observability tools for AI, you can have at the end of the day a number of tokens used by the devs, by the products. And with the token, you can estimate the carbon footprint. You have some great tools like, we can discuss about that, like Ecologits, that can calculate automatically the corresponding carbon footprint and abiotic resources are wasted with the usage of AI.
Good stuff. Well, thank you there for Ludi.
Thank you.
Thank you.